Hello, I'm Chris Pompolis. Welcome to the 1988 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic. Promises to be a great tournament. Our commentators, as usual, are Steve Mackey and Terry Wenban. And first up, a match between two Victorians, Robert Zikman and Warren Stewart, and the two very close in the seedings bowl-off.
Well, Warren Stewart's first up. He's selected to start the match on the odd-numbered lane here at Capalaba.
Stayed out a little wide on that shot then, don't you think, Steve? In practice it was coming right up and that shot stayed a little wide. They pulled it a little left. Seemed to be a bit more oil in the middle of the lane. Left himself a tricky spare though. And I think sparing today, or I think all through the series, I think sparing is going to be paramount.
Yes, it certainly is. And this one here, Chris, is called the sleeper spare because the two pins are standing one in front of the other, but there's 22 inches separating those two pins. It's pretty tricky.
No, it's run away to the left. The sparing, as I said, the sparing right throughout this series is going to be very tricky, especially for the right-hand bowler on the left-hand side of the lane and the left-hand bowler on the right-hand side of the lane.
Yes, and look at this ball turn now.
So it just takes off. As it gets down to that hitting area before the pins, the ball really just takes off.
Robert Zikman next up, and highlights of his career, the WA Open in '86 and the City Masters champion of '87 and '88.
Robert be happy with that one.
Yeah, he's dropped that one short and pulled it, and it's gone over to what we call the Brooklyn side of the pocket. He's aiming for the right-hand side of the head pin, but he's hit the left there. That was a good result from a bad shot.
Here it is again.
Again, as soon as that ball gets to the opposite side of the lane, it just takes off and hopefully doesn't do too much damage. Let's see if he gets this one out more.
Oh, boy.
I think from the time he let that one go, he knew that wasn't going to be a good one.
He's playing a more direct line than Warren. As you can see, his ball's not coming up as much. He's using a different casing on the ball, and it's not gripping the lane as much. This will be very difficult to pick up.
Yes, it's slid a long way, that one. He has to slide the number 2 pin all the way across the lane, and that's not going to do it.
Again, it jumps away.
So a bad start for both players. Rob Zikman now 26 in the second frame. Warren Stewart now coming up for his 2 shots in a row. And there's Zikman's spare attempt. Oh, the ball really ran away then. The ball must feel like a hot potato to them out there.
Warren Stewart, one of the young bowlers, 25 years of age. He's from East Bentley in Victoria.
Now Warren's game is to come with his hand position. He has to come around the ball, get low on the lane, get his fingers in the ball, and then he kept his hand more behind the ball, so the ball didn't finish in the back end of the lane. It just went straight up. The chances of picking this up are pretty slim.
Well, some good advice from the spectators there. Go for 2, and he did and got them. So that's a good try. All the same, he may have bounced that pin off the back wall. 18 in the second plays, 26. 8 pins the difference. Stewart in arrears.
That spare shot really shows the power of Warren. That ball went down a good 2 to 3 times faster than his first ball.
Yes, he really has some power. He's, what, about 6'3"?
Something like that.
He's taller than me.
Better shot. Oh. Again, in practice, he was playing wider on the lane. I can't understand why he's moved a little inside. He was playing right to the edge of the lane and bringing the ball back, and he's thrown all his shots probably down the first arrow, about 5 ball. He should throw this hard.
Yes, and he's happy with that one.
Yeah, this match is pretty even at this stage, even with Warren having a couple of opens. Let's see if Rob can get this one in the pocket.
he looks nervous out there, which is unusual. As we said before, the Australian captain, but he's very eager to get out of that ball.
I think at this stage everyone's nervous playing on TV. I never ever get used to it.
So at the end of the second frame, Rob Zikman looking in good position here in the Coca-Cola Classic. To bowl, he's up by 8, so in a good position. You're looking forward to getting a double strike here, having come off a strike in the third frame.
Yes, if he can get a strike now, that really puts Warren under the gun.
Well, he's done it again. He's not giving the ball a chance. In this game, you've really got to have faith in your own ability and your own judgment, because you know, you're the only one out there playing. You're really only playing yourself in this game. You're not playing anybody. No opponent really comes into it.
Yes, that's right. That's excellent piece of advice from Terry Wenban. So many bowlers seem to neglect that. 46 now, and Warren Stewart needs a strike to stay that 8 pins in arrears.
And Steve, what's the pressure like now? I mean, would Warren be looking at the scoreboard saying, I need a strike here?
Yes, he doesn't want to get any further than 8 pins behind a man of Zikman's experience. Zikman's been around a long time. 25 years, I guess, he's been bowling now. That looks a good shot from Warren Stewart. Yes, he got that strike out.
I suppose a bit of luck comes into it here, Terry.
Yes, there's always that element of luck. Sort of like the putt that hits the sprig mark and jumps in the hole. The pros never admit it, but they still take him just the same.
Well, a chance for now Stewart to catch up. If he can get another strike here, he'll have Rob Zikman by about 2.
Warren will be trying to capitalise on this. He's taking his time. Notice he's getting his hand. It's very important to get your hand in the right position in the ball before you start. It takes a lot of time. He'll want to get down low on this shot and his hand right through it. No, he didn't quite finish the shot off. I think the nerves are playing a part. It's probably a bit keen. Here's the ball, and the ball doesn't quite come back. As you can see, the ball rolled high, started to roll end over end towards the end, which means he didn't come around the ball as he wanted to. Sort of, he's used the same ball.
Yes, Warren does change bowling balls quite often. In fact, there's just 2 bowlers out there, and there's, 2, 4, 6 bowling balls out in the rack. But Warren elected to bowl the same one and just speed up. And we saw the spare.
I was surprised at that. He almost could have had a nasty result out of it. But here's Rob. He needs to strike here. Great shot from Zikman.
Yes, it was a good shot and a good reaction from Rob Zikman then. He knows that Warren Stewart isn't far away from finding a way in. Let's have a look at this one again.
That's a great shot, and he's happy with it. He just wants to get a couple of those away.
He got
the
that.
ball goes out. Here it comes. It's coming back. Good shot.
Yes, and he got it out well on the lane too, Terry, what you've been saying before.
Yeah, before the match he was saying he wanted to play him a bit more direct than Warren, because crossing the boards you can end up in a bit of trouble. But it seems to be working. If he can get a good shot away now, really needs this one. Again, the ball hangs out to the right. When it hangs out to the right, especially on this sort of a condition, it's usually because they didn't finish the shot off. Again, trying to knock the pins over and not playing the game. He really didn't get through the ball. He let the ball go from on top a little bit. Didn't finish it off with his fingers.
He's moved the 4-pin a little here, but no problems because he covered the spare in the perfect position.
Yes, that was a good spare. You also notice Rob isn't changing balls to spares, whereas Warren is. That's just a personal choice of the different way to play spares and the way you attack at them.
Good ball.
That's exactly what the shot that Warren wants to play. Wants to get it right out on the lane. Watch this. He gets it right out near the edge of the gutter. Looks like it's going in and screams back. Great result.
Well, look at the face. Oh, there. Well, that's a good example of what you're talking. Look how far it is down the lane before it starts to turn. That's amazing.
My game, as well as just practicing the games every night of the week, you also have to jog and do some sort of workout in a gymnasium, which not many people do. And it also helps my game with my concentration. That increases and helps me in major tournaments. So I think fitness is really important.
Let's see if he can capitalise on this and get another one. No, he's throwing it wide. Seems to be the tendency with both players here today, Steve, is if they're in trouble, they're going wide.
Yes, it's unusual. Usually people pull it left, but they're both bowling so far out near the gutter, I guess. Well, look at this final pinfall.
That was a lucky break for him because I haven't seen too many of these spares picked up during the seedings tournament. Will it jump away? Again, I think Warren's using, he should go to that other ball for those spares on the left-hand side. He won't be happy with that. It's now up to Rob. If Rob can get 2 strikes here, he can really put the match away.
Yeah, I suppose the popular money would have been with Warren Stewart, but Rob Zikman could pull it away.
Yeah, I thought so. No. You know, during their practice, I was talking to Rob. He changed his left arm position, trying to get it a bit further away from his body to give him a more consistent swing. And again, I think the pressure of TV, Steve, getting to these players a little.
Yes, it's amazing. Until that red light goes on, they all look like world beaters. Of course, some of them are. We have some great bowlers coming up in the men's and women's sections of the tournament. This is a good spare by Rob. Not, well, he plays it a lot more direct than most. And as I said, he uses the same ball for strikes and spares. Yes, he didn't stand real way left on the approach, but had a nice direct line at it. And he's taking quite a bit of time getting his feet placed correctly here. And look at that steely-eyed concentration. Well, that's a funny thing to say, but I think that's a good start for Rob. I always feel that if you're trying to get back into the pocket, you've got to keep hitting the pocket, and if you're wrapping, you've got to stay there, accept the wraps, and just work it a little. Oh, absolutely. You're not going to be anywhere in a field like this if you don't try to hit the pocket all day long. No, see, these players out here really are the best players in the country. That was an interesting effect. Rob seemed to stand wider then for the single 10-pin than the 6-10, which I would have thought was a bit strange. Yes, he's a long way over. Yeah, because coming in with the 6-10, you can chop it. Well, Warren Stewart, we've seen him so often in major tournament finals, and he's won a number of them. A lot of ATBA tournaments down in Melbourne and the Australian Masters last year. He's pretty good under the whip. Let's see how he goes now. He's pulled it a little. The lanes are playing very, how could you say, you really have to be right on your game here. If you're off a fraction, you don't get the reaction. Yeah, he would change that other ball and pick up the spare. I think he should be doing that all the time with spares on both sides of the lane. Good concentration on Warren there. Not the way he wanted to pick up the spare, but a good spare all the same. Certainly the epitome of a sportsman with this physique. Dropped it well short. I don't think you'll see many players
playing the inside of the lane. A few of the straighter bowlers in the field will probably stay there because that's their game. But any of the people that swing the ball will be playing right out near the gutter.
Well, he moved inside a bit that time. That was interesting.
Yeah, it's if you're picking out the 5-pin, when you're playing the outside lane of the lane, if you throw it too wide, sometimes it doesn't come back, and so you move into the middle of the lane and just play just straight at it. Really, it's just a single pin.
Well, Rob Zikman, Chris, can put it away here, mate, with a strike.
Well, it's turned into an open match, isn't it?
16 pins the difference, and we'll see why now. Dragged it high. He's been threatening to do that, and look at the disappointment on his face. He knows now that he's given Warren Stewart another chance to live in this match.
Yeah, he's just sort of looking up, checking the scores, so he knows exactly what he's got to do here. He should probably just go for one. Oh. Well, I was wrong. He went for the spare.
So at the end of the 8th frame, it's Rob Zikman in front by 16 pins over Warren Stewart. Now, in the 10th frame, trying to shut out Warren Stewart, a fellow Victorian.
There's not much in this now. This is a key shot for Rob Zikman. Oh, he needed that one.
He really needs this shot. Players of this calibre, you can't go into the 10th frame allowing anyone the chance to strike out to beat you. It is a great shot. Lucky to pull out the 10-pin, but a good shot and a good result. And as you can see, Rob was ecstatic with that.
Oh, just that 6-pin nudging the 10, the last to go well. This one is the one to win if he gets the strike here and a good count on the next filled ball. He can't lose. This has got to be a strike.
Well, that's where the luck comes into it, Chris. As you can see, if it falls over, he looks great, and if it stands up, he sits back and sweats for 5 minutes.
Yes, the situation now is that Rob Zikman's maximum score is going to be 160.